Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to All In TV's StarCraft 2 commentary. Slide and Legend here, bringing you some more sweet SC2 action. And here on, what is it, Shattered Temple?
Yep.
Yay. We have, as you can see in the chat down below, our protoss player, Naniwa, whose name translates to
Jedi Mind Trick.
Jedi Mind Tricks, which I'm not sure if this is exactly what he was referencing, but is a rap artist that has a pretty good song called Uncommon Valor. If you guys get the chance, you should definitely check that out.
Well, thank you for that really interesting story there,
Yeah,
Slide.
F you. Yeah, so our protoss player Naniwa here. Meanwhile, up in the 1 o'clock position, our Terran player in the blue. I almost said strategy. Strategy.
Yep, this is one word I have really hard time pronouncing, so maybe you should call him Strat, to make just our job a lot easier.
Strat is what we will go with, yeah. It says, but you play Terran, so it's okay, it's okay. Looks like Naniwa, maybe...
A friendly chat.
Yeah, I guess so. Naniwa, of course, he is now with MVP. Oh, what's he? Quantic. I'm sorry, he was with Cole. Yeah, QuanticNaniwa, of course, recently gained quite a bit of publicity in the GSL Blizzard Cup. It was, I believe.
Yeah, of course, Naniwa. I wouldn't call it as immature child, but of course, all that shenanigans against the Nasty on the Blizzard Cup, we're not gonna get into that way too much. Because, you know, we want to cast his game. I believe he's a really talented player. But of course, he just needs to grow up and just play the game like all the pro gamers should be playing, with, you know, responsibility to his team and the fans.
Team fans, you know, to the GOM TV that, you know, basically makes all these tournaments available, as well as you know, it's just, if you want, like, I'm just gonna come out on the limb here and say it. You know, if you're gonna be a professional gamer, you gotta step up the attitude game, the mental game. It's just absolutely part of it. Especially if other players know that you're a player that's easily emotionally provoked. You know, it's really something they can use to your advantage. And you know, not saying that that's going to happen, but Naniwa, a very talented player. Hopefully, we'll see much more of him in the future. And hopefully maybe with a different mind game. Now coming to this game here, we do have a barracks and factory going up for Strat, and he did smartly put his first 2 Marines out in order to catch that scouting probe, and looks like he will corner that probe. There's no way in hell that's going to get away, and it's going to take that out. The 3rd Marine not coming out, so Naniwa did see 3 Marines, so he might be... I don't know. Did not see an add-on on that barracks add-on. Now just going up at a fairly quick expand here from Naniwa. Just 1 gate expand. So
yeah, I really actually like the choice here. But our Terran player going up to 1-1-1 maybe. Yep, that's what he's doing. Yep, and making a Hellion out of that factory. So maybe we'll see some kind of very strong all-in push, which is, you know, so famous by Terran against protoss these days. Yeah, TVP, you know, 1 base all-ins are
borderline OP / you know, just very strong in general, especially against protoss that opt to get, you know, quick nexuses, right? And that's exactly what we saw in the God, what was that tournament where he lost to Enoch?
MLG.
Yeah, MLG, of course. The MLG, none other than the MLG. Where Naniwa did, you know, advance to the finals and played very well, but going Forge Fast Expands or even Nexus First against these Zerg players that were essentially 1-2 base all ending him, and that's kind of to be expected when you know that a player is going to go for the same build order every goddamn time.
Yeah, that's actually totally true, and you know, Naniwa is actually cutting corners here. You know, when you go for 1 gate expansion, you're supposed to put down 2 more gateways and then the robotics facility, but he's actually cutting corners and got the very fast robotics facility, not even putting down extra gateway here. And a very peculiar expansion location by our Terran player Strat.
You know, I do like this though. If when Naniwa gets the observer out, which it is nearly complete, and sends that over to the Terran base, he will see the factory, barracks, and starport, and might be assuming that a 1-1-1 or some variation of it is coming down. No, he is now throwing a second command center down over in his main. So even if Naniwa does scout the command center going down to his natural, there's no way he's going to suspect, or most likely going to suspect the sneak expand.
Yeah, this is really weird. Making a Banshee out of that starport. So he really has no army whatsoever right now. If Naniwa wants to crash... Oh! Sorry, missed that. The Hellion Craftsman in the main base here kills 6 workers.
And he's doing some nice fancy micro with the medevac. Does save 3 of the Hellions, one of them very badly damaged.
And yeah, he's not a single Hellion.
He's got to watch out for these stalkers though. They're trying to head him up, and that medevac is now stuck here. Once the observer comes out, it is already out actually. He should be able to snipe his medevac, but surprisingly, Naniwa not actually doing anything about it. He needs to move that observer over there to get vision of the high ground, and does lose the rest of his Hellions. Looks like only saves 1. That medevac now stranded behind enemy lines. The stalker's not quite able to see it. Once again, grab that goddamn observer and bring it over here so he can take that medevac out. A couple more barracks as well as a Raven. Now, interestingly, on the way for our Terran player Strat, that may be to catch observers, or it may just be, for PDDs against stalkers, which, of course, are, well, they're OP against stalkers.
Yeah, totally true.
Absolutely, especially early mid-game.
And a tech lab going down in the factory, so maybe we'll see some kind of a marine tank against our protoss player.
It's kind of I guess it's a 1-1-1, but it's a really delayed one considering he did throw down 2, not even 1, but 2 command centers. And
whoa! Orbital moving down to what would be Naniwa's 3rd here.
That's really smart though. This is literally the last place I think that Nani would probably expect a sneak expansion to be. And
yeah, maybe, but usually, especially, well, for me anyway, and a lot of pro gamers here, for protoss players, it's kind of hard to defend as the goal. So usually, this will be their, the protoss 3rd easily. So I really expect Naniwa to break down this rock really fast, and he might lose his command center. And I really hope he doesn't make any SCVs out of here. Just kidding, he's making 2 SCVs.
Yeah, I mean, what you were saying there, Legend, is absolutely true. I would have liked to see him essentially use all of his mules on that. Of course, 2 mules essentially pay for a command center, and
that's actually totally true.
Exactly. If he could mine out as much minerals as he could from that sneak expand, and to deny Naniwa that later on, that'd be really crucial. It looks like Naniwa is going to be moving out here. He's nearly 30 up in supply.
Yeah, how is that possible? I guess he did go for double expansion.
That is true, yeah, and he does have a few immortals mixed in, so this is a pretty scary mid-game army that he has here. And what does Strat have to counter this? Couple of Marauders, medevac, Banshee, so not all in all a bad unit composition, but it's going to all come down to positioning here.
Yeah, Stim's not even done yet, so this is really dangerous position for Strat. Yeah, it's really smart of him to use a factory as a spotter.
Oh, I like this. Using the observer to spot the high ground, though. This is why you do not wall off against protoss players, because they can't snipe those supply depots as well as that barracks up in front. If he loses that barracks, his production is going to be, yep, he is going to float that up and bring it back to his base, or to the back of his base, rather. And he needs to wait for Stim. Stim nearly complete now, and Naniwa, is he going to back up, or will he stay there for to contain? Looks like a probe coming up now, possibly to make a pylon there by the edge. Let's see.
Actually, I feel like Naniwa lost his
nice force shields
here.
Yeah.
So I feel like he could have gone up a lot earlier. Now that Stim's done, I think Terran's players have no problem holding this.
I like to Strat's picking up the 1 Marine to save it. Gonna send the probe up. Does get sniped. He does get a scout off on the unit composition, however. And yeah, you're absolutely right. Naniwa did lose his timing here. He is now throwing down a robotics bay to get out those Colossus, hopefully to range against the units on top of the ramp, possibly. And meanwhile, Strat stuck onto, well, Naniwa thinks he's stuck onto 1 base. Meanwhile, Strat, being a sneaky Terran here, has taken his 2nd, quote, base over at his 3rd and is producing SCVs out there. He is quickly, with those mules, OP mules, mining out that what would be Naniwa's 3rd, and that really is what's keeping Naniwa in the, or Strat in the game. Looks like, actually, Naniwa's going to be busting on those rocks. He will discover this command center very shortly, and those SCVs will probably need to hightail it out there very soon.
Yeah, hopefully he does. He is able to save these SCVs because there's quite a lot of SCVs down here.
Although with the army at the middle of the Naniwa's army in the middle of the map, I don't think the SCVs have a very good chance of getting in. And look, this with the force fields, keeping that one sentry there to, to keep the force fields there. And Jesus Christ, a 4 command center going down for Strategy, who is now over 20 down in supply. Yeah, Zealots now moving in down to the south. Well, yeah, the probe did discover that sneak expansion. These SCVs, there is a lift off, and these SCVs need to get out of there. Unfortunately, going through the Zealots, a couple are getting hacked to pieces.
Oh no!
Oh, GG! Oh.
Poor SCVs, but he is able to save that orbital, which is so important.
Will he be able to get away with that army? Looks like Naniwa will not position his forces to take out the command center. Unfortunately,
yeah, I guess he's just so worried about kind of like a draw play by our Terran player, and also having 2 observers following.
Yeah, he does just now notice that. It looks like he will send that 3rd observer out to the middle of the map somewhere, and just a pretty straight up MMM force from our Terran player strat at the moment. Scanning going down. Probably did see. Yeah, should have seen the Colossus.
Yep, should start the Viking production really soon here.
And is not quite doing it. He needs to start making Vikings now. +2 armor
nope,
and
Medvac
attack.
coming. Oh, Medvac and a Viking.
And a Viking. Okay, yeah. He does see just that 1 Colossus out, so he's not entirely too worried yet. He does, however, he is now, however, even on bases with Naniwa.
So he's got this base.
So
this Terran player is persistent. I really like him.
I definitely like this style of play, sneaking expansions. I mean, it's the sort of thing that if you're not completely on top of your scouting, can really throw you off. And you know, you've had those games. I'm sure those of you at home as well, where you're playing against an opponent and think, I should be an even or even ahead of him in economy. How does he have so much stuff? Well, in those situations, you need a scout around for that sneak expansion, just all over the map, just in case, because if they catch you off guard, you know, you're in some serious trouble. It looks like just a couple of Marines, or all the Marines rather, now moving out with that Raven to do a little bit of scouting. Where could they possibly be going? Just taking out that observer. Nicely done, stimming only a couple of Marines, does snipe that observer, is going to possibly force Naniwa to stop production of the Colossus.
Yeah, remember like a Makai Prime in open season, he was stim like his entire Marines and even Marauders to kind of chase out the mutas or you know, any harassment. Just a pain in the ass to watch. Like
before Terran players realized that stim and medevac energy is a resource in itself. Yeah, Terran players keeping their entire army in one hotkey, stim even Marauders to chase mutas. That was not a pretty sight to see. +3 weapons on the way for Strat, as well as looks like +2 armor and attack for our pros player Naniwa.
Wow, macroing quite well here for our Terran player. Of course, adding a bunch of production facility. He is on 4 bases here.
Yeah, definitely, and with of course 4 command centers and basically quadruple mule drops, he's going to be having plenty of income on the way. And if you look at the unit counting tab, 29 Marauders, Christ.
It's still a lot of Marines to my taste. You know, they are so prone to go down so fast to Stalkers, of course, Colossus, splash damage, and even, you know, Archons and High Templars if you go into that late game.
Yeah, nice concave there from Naniwa at the front of his natural.
I'm kind of surprised he didn't take a gold base yet. Maybe he's just so afraid of Terran kind of attacking it.
Yeah, he might be. He hasn't really been able to get an observer or any sort of scout into the Terran base for quite a while now, so he might be anticipating some sort of attack, and an attack is exactly what's about to happen here. And the Terran army, as you said earlier, Legend, still pretty Marine heavy, which a lot of Terran players kind of get stuck going into because Marines are a very good unit, but against splash damage like 3 Colossus, not very good at all. He doesn't have nearly enough Vikings, I think. Only 3 Vikings to 3 Colossus.
Yeah, huge engagement here.
So he stims, and force field's not going down. Not the best force fields I've ever seen, but the Zealots be able to clean up quite a few of them. Colossus is going to work again. Not enough Vikings, and even though the Marauders are able to take out most of the ground forces, those Colossus do an absolute work on the Terran Bio Ball. Not enough medevacs, not enough Vikings, and Stalkers blinking forward, sniping out a couple of medevacs out of the sky, and Strat's army in full retreat now.
Yeah, even the supplies, even of course the Protoss army came way out in the head.
Yeah, an SCV is now going to be pulled. Strat realizing the desperate nature of his situation. Nice micro on this Colossus. So many SCVs going down, and these Marauders being cleaned up. A complete one-sided rout here by 91. Now up 40 in supply, and still up about 10, or I guess rather only 6 in probes, but now catching back up. And is Naniwa going to push, or will he fall back and regroup is to be seen.
He actually really should push right now. He has like he's only 2 Vikings out against this many Colossus and Stalkers and even Immortals dealing tons of damage here.
If he can take out all the SCVs here, that would be huge. I would love to see him take out that natural expansion and then pull back. He will pull back now. A couple of Vikings coming out will chase those Colossus away. Will the Stalkers blink back and snipe the Vikings? No, they will not.
Why is Naniwa pulling out? I really don't get this.
He might. I mean, he realizes he absolutely crushed the army of Strat, and he assumes, I guess, that Strat's only on the 3 bases. So if he's going to go back and take his 4th, which is at the goal, and it's just going to go.
Actually, does he even know about this base?
Does he? Naniwa does not actually. So he thinks the Terran player might. Although at this point, with seeing that much stuff, he might be able to assume that Terran player is at least on 3 bases.
I think that's the only explanation why he didn't attack. He probably thinks Terran's still on 2 bases, so he really doesn't need to overextend and attack his army, I guess. But still a very curious choice from Naniwa not attacking that time.
Yeah, also 30 Stalkers out. Considering how heavy the Marauder count has been, I'd like to see Naniwa maybe throw in a few more Zealots with charge. And there he is getting some Archons, which is very nice to do.
Holy shit, 35 Marauders out.
Yeah, I mean, we can see the production of Strat now really coming in, now kicking in. So many Barracks and Tech Labs up, and mining off of 4 bases. I mean, he's able to produce these Marauders out non-stop.
He really hates making Vikings, I guess. He's refusing to make more Vikings.
Still more Medivacs, yeah. Still more Medivacs. He's getting air attack level, was it 1 or 2? I can't tell. Level 2, yeah, ship weapons level 2. So that's
now getting a Ghost Academy, so it's really late in a Ghost Academy. You usually want to get Ghost Academy against a Protoss, in 13, 15 minutes.
Yeah, listen, Naniwa's army now moving up towards natural again, and we're going to have a huge engagement. Archons not quite in the front yet, getting melted very quickly. Huge concave by Strat. Is it going to be able to hold off Naniwa's army? However, Colossus going down very quickly. Only a single one remains. Archon stuck in the back, and Stalkers not being blinked very effectively. So many of them going down. Strat somehow taking this engagement, and Naniwa left with nearly nothing.
Yeah, I think this is exactly what, like you say, he needed definitely more Zealots, because Stalkers are not going to do anything.
And I guess Strat actually throwing out the Terran, so he's calling himself Imba here, and yeah, now Naniwa realizing, okay, I need a few more Zealots in this composition. That was really unfortunate, losing all those Stalkers. Needs to bring him back. There you go. Does Will lose 1? Does not. Zealots now charging in. Stalkers coming in for the flank. Archon following the Zealots. And nice micro from Strat so far. He needs 1 more stem. Needs to continue microing those Marauders on the right side back. Vikings not doing a whole lot because there isn't any Colossus to shoot quite yet. Fortunately for Naniwa, those Zealots are enough in number to chase away Strat's army.
Yeah, but of course our Terran player does take the supply lead, and he technically didn't even take this gold base here, so I would say he's like way up ahead at this point.
Yeah, Naniwa actually did a good job too there, blinking up and sniping a few of the Vikings. Will he resume Colossus production remains to be seen. Not any more Vikings being produced from Strat. And yeah, both players, even on bases
and upgrades.
And upgrades, yeah. Actually, that's interesting. These days you don't often see Terran players being able to keep up on upgrades with the Protoss, especially with the upgrade buff.
Yeah, Terran player did very nice job on keeping up with upgrades and the production facilities. Of course, yeah, he's up about 40 in supply, and
Naniwa, however, is banking quite a few minerals and gas, so he will be able to reinforce pretty quickly. Sidestorm about halfway on the halfway done.
So many mules.
So many OP mules. Fortunately for Strat, there are ghosts now on the way. And Naniwa pushing once again the natural. I'm not sure he should quite be doing this, seeing as how our Terran player Strat is able to reinforce very, very quickly.
Yeah, actually I would love to see, Naniwa. There's a huge
drop that we missed, sniping all the pylons, and a couple of Zealots getting warped in. The Mortal doing work too, but we'll get sniped very quickly. Probes going down as well. If he can snipe a few of the key tech structures or pylons, that'd be crucial. This Templar Archives needs to go down. Will he realize that it's researching Sidestorm? I don't think he realizes quite that he's focusing down the pylons, and it looks like Naniwa's army is here to clean up in time, and unfortunately will not get the Templar Archives. That is so unfortunate. Sidestorm just finishes. 3 more gateways on the way, and Strat's still producing quite a few Marauders, which is nice, but it's going to come down to storm dodging as well as EMPs and feedbacks. We'll see how this next engagement plays out.
Yeah, I would love to would have seen
You'd love to see.
Strat taking down this Temple Archive Cortex forever to make this building and get the storm research going.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Oh my god. So no Colossus out. So this MMM ball is very dangerous. Naniwa, his army kind of getting cornered here. Nice storm to ward that away, and we'll lose only a single Zealot, unfortunately. But actually, Strat's main army charging into the natural. He's gonna snipe the Nexus. No, he's not. He's going all the way into the main base. I'm not so sure. Okay, he does have the top of the ramp now. If he can engage here against Naniwa's army, no, he's gonna keep pulling in. Actually, what is he going after? Forges, gateways, sniping quite a few, but he needs to save as much of his army as he can. High Templar now closing in. Needs to be able to dodge these storms. Those units so low in health after multiple stims. And
oh my god, so clumped
huge
up!
Storms! Because a big chunk of the bio ball going down. If we look at the army, he's going to save what he can, but so many of them so low in health. One storm taking a lot of them down. Will he focus the metabacks? No, he's going to get a single one, but I don't think that was worth it. Strat losing his entire army does get some gateways, fortunately. However, Naniwa will be able to rebuild those very quickly.
Yeah, but of course, our Templar Strat does have a lot of minerals saved up.
Yeah, never mind.
And still did not take this gold base. Like, he has a lot of resources at his hand, and
he has completely mined out.
Oh my god!
Naniwa is going to expand there at some point if this game goes on. He's going to see this and just be fuming at the lack of resources there after the Terran mules have essentially mined it barren. And 2 ghosts, bunch of marauders, and just...
Well, just everything, most of the production facility just went down. He doesn't... You know, I almost said I'd love to see a Colossus kind of transition, because he was able to kill all the Vikings, but he doesn't even have a robotics facility and robotics base. So
yeah, Naniwa may be feeling a little desperate here. He's going to push up with a small force. However, Strat does have a giant army. Well, not giant, I guess, but he is producing very quickly, and that's going to be waiting for him up at his natural. And these High Templar need to be not pumped up. The ghosts, EMPs. No, snipes instead going down on the High Templar. Will he be able to EMP? No. One storm does go down. Second one in the middle of the clumped up bio units. A lot of them getting damaged. Zealots now in the main base, but I think the reinforcements and this army up at the front is handily able to clean the rest of Naniwa's army up. And what is the response to this? Is not able to reinforce this because all the production facilities were destroyed.
Yeah, he's actually getting a cyber core at this point.
Jesus.
It was really weird. His ghost missed a bunch of EMPs. Like, what the hell is that?
Yeah, I don't understand what that was. His High Templar were so clumped up, and the ghost could have easily EMP'd all of them. Instead, going for snipes, which I'm not so sure what that was about. A lot of High Templar here. Do they have enough energy for storms? They should by now. 75 energy? Yes, they do. And
again, going for immersion.
Oh my god, yeah, he's going to be focusing these down, splitting his army up a little. One half going towards the third base.
Going up to the main base.
Once again, going for the main base. Now he's getting the High Templar.
Oh my gosh, getting a Nexus.
And Naniwa sees this. There are almost no minerals there, and this should be GG very shortly. 4,000 minerals being banked for strategy. He can reinforce this very quickly. Ship weapons level 3 for some reason on the way. Is he gonna... Nice storms. Gets a couple, actually, quite a few metabacks. And just Strat's army being whittled down to nearly nothing here. However, Naniwa doesn't really have an army either. Just a couple of High Templar, and these units should be able to clean up. Meanwhile, back at home, Strat is taking yet another base, and look at that, an entirely new army produced, rocking and ready to go.
I can't believe he's actually making a Nexus here. There's only 3 patches left.
Yeah, I don't think he still hasn't. No, he has not scouted the base up above his 4th either.
Oh my gosh, this is a totally scouting fail. That's why you're supposed to send the observer, kind of rally point to here and even here and here, or send the probes out. But
and Naniwa is saying, heh. To Tiger for scouts, so just as we're saying,
Terran player says yes.
Yeah, Naniwa does realize it was a bit of a scouting fail. Nice storm of the ghosts there. None of them going down, unfortunately, because ghosts do have quite a bit of HP. And Naniwa there the GG. A little bit BM there, GG faggot.
A little bit. I would say that's a really BM. Naniwa just needs to grow up, man. Like, he just lost a bad game. He could have won like at least a couple different times. He didn't push it. He didn't scout. It really was his fault. Like, yeah, there's nothing to it.
By no means is Naniwa a bad player, but this absolutely was not a good game for him, unfortunately. I gotta say. And this Terran player's strategy, he outplayed him.
Well, yeah, I don't know, just very poorly, a lot of iffy, I'll say iffy decisions by Naniwa. And of course, just throwing down GG Faggot does not really help him at this point, salvaging his reputation that has gone down so low.
It really just was a scouting fail. That's
Yeah.
really what it came to. Failing to scout those expansions, even when he completely crushed Strategy's army in the first major battle, allowing him to get back because he did not realize that Strategy, had two other bases that Naniwa just hadn't scouted at all. And that's that's really unfortunate. Something you don't really see that often from a pro gamer who typically is on top of their scouting.
Yeah, just
Yeah, I mean, not a whole lot to say there, and so yeah, this was
it was actually a really exciting game.
It was a good game.
Yeah.
It was a very good game.
It also teaches us the importance of scouting, so please scout everywhere
If there's
on your ladder game.
if there are two things you're gonna do when you're first starting to play StarCraft: one, make workers; two, scout.
Yes.
Those are like first two things you gotta do.
Scouting is a half the battle, if not more.
Yep, knowing is half the battle, absolutely. And so, thanks for joining us here at AISCtv Slide and Legend here, of course. And yeah, we'll be bringing you some more games in the future, so please stay tuned.
See you guys later.